Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to another episode of Diagnosing a Killer. I'm Koelle.
And I'm Kenna.
How are you?
I am good.
Me
I just
too.
made a bunch of food.
You
So,
did.
I've been cooking for the last couple of hours.
Yes.
And we're having a potluck tomorrow at work, and I signed myself up for our famous potato salad and my new pasta salad recipe. So,
Your pasta salad, the last time you made it, was really bomb.
so bomb,
Yeah.
and I'm really excited about it. It's like a play on like a grinder sandwich. So
Okay.
it has pepperoncinis and
That's
it
right.
has, it's like an Italian mayo kind of base, but it
Yeah.
also has like black olives and salami and pepperoni and it's so good.
I ate around it last time, but I did have a bite of cheese
Yes.
when I was drunk.
It
and
also has cheese.
It was awful. And it messed me up. Because
Yeah.
I try to stay vegan, as much as possible. I know mayo counts as not vegan, but still. I try to stay away from...
salami and pepperoni.
No, I didn't eat any of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't?
no salami, no pepperoni. Definitely, no meaty meats for the most part. I try not to. I'll have a steak every once in a while.
Yeah.
But
Whoa! I was gonna say. Oh yeah, but my throat needs to be cleared. Hold on, pause. And we're back. Sorry.
you good?
Yeah, I'm fine. That was weird.
I'm not wearing my headset, so I can't hear hardly anything
Yeah.
that's going on right now because my hair is wet.
Sounded pretty bad to the mic.
Yeah, it sounded bad out here too.
Great.
but-
Man, there is just so much going on. There's a lot of new things happening with us and our family and our lives and
Yeah.
everything, and we're
on-
just super blessed and thankful.
Yeah, on an upswing for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
And I think this is going to be a little bit of a different thing that we're doing today, but before we get into the case, as I know it's your case, I will just take up some time really quick and talk about our social media.
Yeah.
So we have at Diagnosing a Killer at every platform. If this is your first time listening, hello. Please follow us if you will. Give us a review, leave us a rating, and everything is at Diagnosing a Killer except for Twitter, which is at Killer Diagnosis. We do have a TikTok and Instagram, a Gmail, which is diagnosingakiller@gmail. Send us a message. Or you can DM us on Instagram. I have access to that too. Also, we do have an upcoming show. There's a meet
We
and
also
greet.
have a website.
Oh, we do have a website, sorry, at diagnosingakiller.com.
Which needs to be updated with the new Patreon tiers, by the way.
Okay, but
So,
we also have a Patreon, so diagnosingakiller/ or patreon.com/diagnosingakiller. Our tier 2 and tier 3 are going to have a bonus episode coming out on the 29th, and that is the Toy Box Killer. Super excited about that. That is just for our tier 2 and 3 Patreon exclusive episodes. Second installment of that. That's once a month. You get an extra episode, and then with Patreon, you get ad-free episodes as well.
You'll get 2 episodes in one day on Monday, because that'll be the 29th. So you get Toy Box and you get a mental breakdown as well.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. And then lastly, we do have the True Crime and Paranormal Podcast Festival happening in August in Austin, Texas. That is the 25th through the 27th. We have been invited to be hosts there. So follow them on Instagram. Check out the festival website. I think it's truecrimepodcastfestival.com.
Yeah.
And then, check us out. If you want to come see us, buy your tickets. We do have a discount code that is DAKPOD for 15% off of those tickets. And now I'll shut up.
Thanks for all of that. You did a lot of it on your own.
Thanks.
Okay, are we ready?
I think I know who you're doing.
Really?
I'm just going to put my vote out there in my head right now.
Okay.
Once you say it, I will tell you if I was right or if I was wrong.
I just realized that probably was really loud.
It was a little loud.
Sorry.
It's all right.
That was me picking up my phone. Today we're going to be talking about Elliot Rodger.
I knew it. Oh my
We're
gosh.
going to talk about Elliot Rodger. Oh, I
knew
know
it.
that you've been waiting for this one.
I have. And you said a second ago off mic, you were like, he isolated himself a lot. This person, you didn't even say he, you said, this person isolated themselves a lot. And I was like, is she doing fucking Elliot Rodger?
Well, yeah, I was talking about my child and about how he just decided to go play Legos in his room with all the lights off. And I was like,
Gee.
put on a movie or something.
Right? It's silent in here.
Yeah, and I was just thinking, like, this poor child was isolated.
Well, I've only heard of this episode, or this guy once, and it was actually a lady that did an episode on him.
Okay.
So I've only heard their take. I haven't even done any research on my own, so I'm really excited to hear your take on it as well.
I'm really excited to do this one. In fact, it's so much content. We are going to do a 2-parter.
No.
It's too much. There's too much stuff.
We have not done a two-parter in a hot minute.
Yeah.
Oh
so
my gosh.
Either, I guess it'll be Thursday next week, catch part 2.
Dang, you're going to have to wait a whole week. And I'm going to have to wait a whole week, too, because we're not recording this back-to-back like we usually do for part 2s.
Content warning, this episode depicts scenes of someone struggling with connecting with others. And if this episode is not for you, we encourage you to check out another one of our episodes. Remember that your mental health comes first, and we love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
So again, just a very broad content warning.
Yeah.
It's just essentially, of course, somebody's upbringing and their struggles with that upbringing. So Elliot Oliver Robertson Rodger.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Robert Robertson?
Robert Robertson.
Really?
Robertson Rodger.
Oh, so there's no Robert?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
Elliot Oliver Robertson Rodger.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a mouthful. He was born in London, England, on July 24th, 1991. The Rodgers had a long line of financial successes, and his grandfather was a well-known photographer.
Okay.
His name was George Rodger. And he had taken some of the most famous photographs of World War II at the time. His father is a famous director and filmmaker. His name is Peter Rodger, and his mother was Malaysian-born Lee Chin. Peter would later become very successful in films. He actually went on to win several awards and accolades throughout his career. He was most notably, on his little IMDb page, it says that he worked on the Hunger Games.
Oh, wow.
So he was, he is still alive. Lee Chin, of course, is Elliot's mother, who his father met while she was working as a nurse on the set of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she was like a medical person, and that's how she met Pete.
I'm sure they're both, into film.
Yeah.
Cool.
Peter was 26 when Elliot was born, although his mother was 30, just a few years older. And although the couple made efforts to prevent pregnancy, Elliot would be conceived. So they did not want children.
Well, I bet they were fuck,
Shit.
way later on.
Well, they have very busy lives,
Yeah.
They work on film sets and stuff. Once Elliot was born, the family attempted to travel for work, but Lee Chin had said that Elliot cried a lot as a baby and seemed to hate to travel. I mean, he's a fucking baby.
Yeah.
So who wants to? And this is when he was a little infant.
Babies cry.
Babies cry.
He might have been, motion sick, too, and they don't even know, because they can't tell them.
They're just, jet-setting everywhere.
Yeah.
So the family would eventually move to England and live in the countryside. Peter went back to work, and he began to travel a lot, while Lee Chin stayed at home with Elliot and her mother, who had she had moved in to help raise Elliot. Mm-hmm. By all accounts, Elliot loved this time that he spent with his mother and his grandmother, and Elliot would actually recollect by his third birthday, at the party, there was another parent that cut the cake and handed it to their child first, and he threw this, crazy elaborate tantrum, Elliot.
I mean, that's his fucking birthday party. I'd probably be pissed, too.
Yeah, apparently it was, a really big blowout, though. So much to the point to where the family never allowed him to forget it, essentially. They would bring it up.
Okay. Well, that's an asshole of a parent that did that. I'm sorry. I wouldn't do that. And I'd be like, why are you doing that? It's my son's party. Have you ever heard about, kids being so entitled that, when it's not their birthday, their parent will still bring them, a present so that they don't feel left out?
Oh,
I can't
that's awful.
Fucking stand that.
Anyways, it seems like this is a precursor for Elliot's sense of entitlement.
Yeah.
And how when he didn't get what he wanted, he would throw a tantrum, essentially.
Cute.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah, for real.
But again, it's understandable. He's 3. So Elliot started preschool, and this is at an all-boys private school. He did make a few friends here, but was seemingly a melancholy type child, as described by his teachers.
Okay.
He's 3, and he just is so reserved and into himself. It just didn't seem normal. It's almost like he had a blasé attitude
Just
towards...
a sad boy.
Yeah. I think it's laissez-faire or blasé. I think they're both the same.
I don't know.
Email me.
Correct me.
It just seems that he was a brat from the very beginning. He was
Yeah.
born with a silver spoon in his mouth type shit.
Well, it kind of seems like his parents are also, not allowing it, but instead of directing him on, how to maintain, a healthy relationship with his feelings, I feel like they're just giving him shit for it.
Right. They're just be an adult.
Yeah.
Just be an adult.
You're 3. Come on, be a fucking adult.
Get a job.
God, lazy fuck.
Elliot remembers enjoying the holidays. He liked being surrounded by family, he liked cold weather, and he loved the snow. He remembers his parents throwing big, elaborate holiday parties. And, quote, "My father helped me build a snowman once," end quote. Do you want to build a snowman?
I know you're in there.
Oh, God. I'm going to cry.
My parents helped me build a snowman once because it only snowed once. That was like 2 years ago. It doesn't snow here, by the way.
Yeah.
At all, ever.
It just sounds like he's really neglected at this point, especially by his father, who probably travels a lot.
Yeah.
Even with all of Peter's traveling, Elliot does have very fond memories of his father teaching him how to fly kites when he was little.
Oh.
And the two would share in flying kites together.
Little Benjamin Stanklin action.
Yeah, some Benjamin Stanklin action.
Had to pop that in there. Peppers.
Pepperton. By the following year, while the family was vacationing, Elliot would receive news that his grandfather, George, had passed. And this was on Elliot's 4th birthday.
Okay, here we go. Now he's associating birthdays with loss and grief and all this shit. The first time was the cake, and now it's his grandfather.
Yeah.
Just getting worse.
It's every birthday.
God, that sucks. Honestly, that's really sad.
I do want to say, pepper this in now, I got most of this information from his own manifesto.
Oh, yeah.
And although it wasn't 1,400 pages long, it was 141.
Yeah, it's very long. They actually made it into a book, and it's
Elliot's?
a lot. Yeah, you can read a book essentially of his manifesto, or maybe it's just online. I don't know.
And I'm not trying to discredit him just yet. Well, I mean, we'll get to it. But either way, it was very much. I don't want to give anything away yet, but it was a very high school essay.
Yes, and a lot of what we're gonna learn about him is his own account.
Yes,
so it's not false.
Yes,
but it might be false because he made it up. But it's not like someone else reporting it from a bystander or whatever.
So the reason that I have very specific dates, as far not dates but birthdays, is because that's the way he's outlined it in his own manifesto. So it's like age 3.
Yeah,
and then he talks about age 3, age 4.
Yeah, no, he's fucking
narcissistic,
cuckoo.
He's narcissistic.
Definitely narcissistic.
Elliot does remember that when his grandfather passed on his birthday. That's
not funny. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I mean, how do you not take that personally, though? Honestly, especially as a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
you're like, hey, bud, I know that you're really trying to enjoy your cake, but Popsicle passed away.
Poor Popsicle. Damn Popsicle.
God, sucks, man.
Elliot does remember that this was the first and only time that he had ever seen his father cry.
Okay, don't say that to me.
And that it profoundly affected him, of course.
Can relate.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Can fucking relate.
Within the year, Peter and Lichen would welcome their second baby named Georgia. Georgia. No, it's Georgia.
Georgie?
Georgie. Hiya, Georgie.
Thank you for getting that.
Her name is Georgia. My bad.
Oh.
Which is like an...
Georgia, the way it's spelled.
Georgia.
Yeah. I just got it. Okay.
My bad. Georgia. Hiya, Georgie. Anyway, Georgia.
Okay.
And of course, this is an homage to the late grandfather, which is George.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
You
make
didn't get
fun
that?
of it.
Okay.
I was just thinking the state.
No, I said it. It is like the state, I think, but still. By the time that Elliot was 5, Peter's career was taking off, and he decided it would be best to move the entire family to Los Angeles.
Whoa. You all right?
First Georgia, now Los Angeles. Los Angeles, California.
Okay, that's what I was going to say. I didn't think he was from England.
No, well, he was born there.
Well, yes, but does he have an accent?
No, I don't think so. Well, when you listen to videos of him, he has a very specific pattern of speech.
Well, it's probably a mixed accent from there and Valley Girl.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, speaking of Europe and London, that fucking one Jeopardy contestant he grew up in New York, went to college for 2 semesters in London, and then comes back with an accent. What?
I know somebody like that.
God,
I'm not from here. I'm British. You sound like you're from London.
That's so much of a fucking farce. It's ridiculous.
Poo-poo heads. Both of you, poo-poo heads.
Yeah. Terrible people.
So Elliot, of course, wasn't crazy about this. He had already established some friendships, little friendships, little family members. He said he would mostly miss his grandmother because he loved his grandmother, his Amma.
Oh, and I bet he felt bad leaving her there alone.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if she was alone. I think he had probably aunts and uncles and stuff.
Well, yeah, but, like, her husband passed away, you know. That's what I mean by alone.
Yeah. Did her husband pass away? Oh, yeah.
Was George her husband? Georgie.
I don't know.
Okay, well, either way.
That would have been Peter's... Well, yeah, I guess so, because Li Chen was from Malaysia, so I'm assuming that...
His paternal grandparents.
Yes. Elliot would say that he specifically asked if the new home would come with a swimming pool because they were going to Los Angeles, and I guess that was in his head.
And when he didn't, he threw a fit, or what?
He was relieved when his father told him that yes, it did come with a pool. Lord knows what would have happened.
Yeah, right? I want a pool. Sorry. I want a pool.
Give me a pool. He's 3. You think he really gives a shit?
Nah, he's 4. Remember, his grandfather died.
Oh,
on
that's
his
right.
Birthday.
I don't think he really...
No, sorry, that's just... I can just hear it.
I don't think he would really say that at 4. I think this is him writing his manifesto at 22, and then...
making all the excuses as to why he did what he did.
Yes, exactly.
My dad didn't give me a pool when I was 4.
I want a pony.
I'm a dickhead for the rest of my life.
But Daddy, I want the golden egg!
I want it now! That's me. I'm Veruza Salk, for sure. That's me as a person. Ugh.
And that's why I'm about to do what I'm gonna do. I'm just kidding.
I want the world. I want the whole world.
Perfect.
We're going off on a tangent.
That's
and there's
alright.
a lot of,
People like us. Actually, we did get a nice review about someone that says that they like listening to us because we get right to the point. And now we're, like, not doing that.
So true. They did specifically say that. Sorry.
Hi. Thank you for the nice review, though. Back to the story.
So again, the house came with a pool.
You don't say.
In retrospect, he would come to miss his life in England. Elliot would arrive in the new house, and he would immediately select the bedroom that he wanted, only to find out that his mother had already assigned this room to his baby sister. So he was not happy about that. In fact, he would throw a tantrum about it.
Why does she need the bigger room? She's small.
I'm 4. Either way, Elliot was excited to start his new life in this big house the family had purchased, and excited to attend school that year, since he had never been to an American school. Elliot quickly realized that American schooling is very different from the way that
not all it's cracked up to be.
He grew up on the countryside. I don't even think he was going to school. I think he
Yeah.
was just like, kids just get excited about going to school in general.
Yeah, that's true.
They should get excited about going to school, not be terrified.
School. Yeah, right? Fuck that.
He said that his teacher was uptight, often giving Elliot extra work in order to catch up to the American curriculum, which I don't think was true either. I think he just thought he was being pinpointed.
Yeah,
The children...
He's narcissistic, even at a young age.
The children were also dismissive of the small-statured young man, especially because he was foreign and he sounded funny. You sound like you're from London. That Paul Rudd from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you seen my shoe? It's like this one. It's not an evil version. It's just like, this one's mate, really.
This one's mate.
My legs are so sweaty right now.
Cute.
Why? It's so hot in here. Sweaty thighs. Where was I? He was simply just different from everyone else. So, after a few weeks, Elliot's parents decided to remove Elliot from the school since they too felt like Elliot was being treated differently than the other children.
Paving the way.
Maybe because he's just a little different. Maybe because he is from England. Maybe because they're just not used to that. Maybe people do talk to him more or want to know more or whatever. Want to be involved more, right?
Would you rather no one fucking talk to you? Because you're pissed off about that later.
Right?
So what do you fucking want?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. I remember when I listened to this episode when Lady did it, I was so fucking irritated the whole time I was listening to it because this guy just strikes a nerve with me.
Every time. Elliot was then enrolled in a school literally called farm school because it was a school on a farm.
Okay, did they teach you how to be a farmer?
Kind of. So again, it was attached to a farm. He was encouraged to make friends, and he was handled very gently and kindly by the teachers. They were very nice teachers, but they used to go on little field trips to the farm. So they would go out there. I don't know. It wasn't like an agricultural school because this is also, he's 4 or 5.
Yeah.
He's still a baby. It's not like they have like farm hands for children.
It reminds me of that was it the TV show where they would send their troubled teens to, like, work on the farm with these families to, like, teach them, like, how to...
Well, Dr. Phil used to do that. I don't know if that's
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
It was called Turnaround Ranch, wasn't it?
Yes,
Or
that's
Turnabout
hilarious.
Ranch.
Yes.
So Elliot was finally feeling like he was being nurtured, and he kind of began to come out of his shell, essentially. Elliot would soon meet a girl by the name of Maddie. The two would quickly become friends.
I was like, whoa.
I think I specifically wrote it like that. The two would quickly become friends. And Elliot was relieved when he found out that Maddie was also from an affluent family, as her father was a famous musician back home in England as well.
Oh, so now he has something in common with her.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
It was familiar set of circumstances for Elliot, because, of course, he had just moved from England and also had a famous dad. The two spent a lot of time together. They would be watching movies, playing outside and such, swimming in the pool. Elliot would distinctly remember that at least on one occasion, the two bathed together at 4 or 5.
Like, they took it upon themselves, or the parents
I think
bathed
the
them?
parents just didn't care. Or, like, maybe it was after the pool, get in the tub, rinse off. Who cares?
Okay, I mean, that's not that weird.
I think it's weird. For 5? Even
Yeah,
5, I feel
5 is
weird.
definitely a little old.
Yeah.
I would say he might be remembering that because it was told to him when he was older,
Yeah.
not necessarily the memory itself.
Sure, yeah.
But either way, no, I think it's weird. They're not siblings, so it's definitely
not.
weird.
It's-
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
it's weird.
it's inappropriate. If they were, like, 1.5, 2,
For sure.
maybe.
I think
maybe.
my son started showering at 5.
True.
On his own. Either way, this would seemingly be Elliot's first crush, or at least the idea of what he thought a crush might be.
Okay. Ew, his parents are probably like, oh, look how cute they are. They're gonna get married one day. And then showered them together. Like, that's fucking creepy.
Ew.
You know when they say that about kids, though.
The two would quickly get married.
Yeah.
Around age 6, Elliot remembers having a sense of meekness for the first time. He wasn't like the other boys who would roughhouse with each other and had an overall kind of rambunctious play style. He wasn't like that. He was more reserved, and he felt more inward, and wouldn't really find a place between playing with the boys or sitting with the girls. So he just kind of felt stuck in the middle.
Reminds me of John Mulaney. He's like, I'm just gonna sit here and feed my birds.
He was also considered short for his age as well. By the first grade, Elliot switched schools again and attended, I think it's Syriania Avenue Elementary.
Anybody from California, hit us
Yeah,
up.
I think it's Syriani, Georgia.
Sure.
Maddie and Elliot kept in contact, as did their parents. Elliot would be invited over along with his parents. Oftentimes, Maddie would have girlfriends as well over, just, because she was a little girl.
Yeah.
Elliot remembers being attracted to playing with Maddie and her friends, saying, quote, "In the present day, these girls would treat me like the scum of the earth. But at the time, we were equals," end quote.
Cry me a fucking river.
Yeah.
That's like one of the biggest things that pissed me off about him. I'm not going to give anything away, but like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Like, shut the fuck up.
After just a few short weeks into the first grade, the family would move yet again, although in the same district. So he hoped one day that maybe in middle or high school, he might see some of the friends that he did make friends with. But again, this is after a few short weeks. So they've already moved from England. Well, they lived somewhere, then they moved to the countryside.
Yeah.
Then they moved to LA. Now they're moving again.
Dang.
And he's 6.
That's a lot of movement, especially how much he traveled to when he was little, when they were doing the, work and stuff.
It's true. And they would also in this time be taking vacations as well, which I mentioned in a little bit.
Yeah.
So far, all of his birthdays have only been restaurants, fancy restaurants, or trips.
Wow.
Never, like, a kid's birthday party.
Well, it's got to be frustrating to, like, kind of being, like, drug around everywhere, like, not really being able to participate in things because you're so young, and also, like, not really having a sense of belonging because you don't really stay somewhere long enough to, like, make really good friends.
Exactly.
That's got to be hard. I can't relate to that. I mean, we've been in the same house our whole lives.
Right. So, again, he was forced to pack up and leave while having to meet a whole new set of kiddos at his new school.
That's got to be hard.
So now he would be attending... It's Topanga Elementary. I was like, how do you say... Oh, duh. Boy Meets World. Topanga.
Hello.
Elliot was nervous as the school year had already begun, and friendships were already likely to be developed at this point between the kids.
God, the fact that he has that worry, like, at such a young age, like, oh, kids are already going to be friends with each other, they're not going to want to be friends with
They're
me.
all
Like,
going to know each other. Yeah. And I don't know anybody.
That's scary.
It is. Nonetheless, a student that he sat with on his first day was very welcoming and very kind to Elliot. This would also become a good friend of his, and his name was Philip. He was a nice guy.
Good. Nice guy.
I don't know if that was his name was Philip or he met Philip that same day. My bad. Sorry, Elliot. Sorry, not sorry, Elliot.
Yeah, what the fuck?
He also quickly became friends with another boy named James. And James would be actually Elliot's best friend for the next 14 years.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. The boys would spend a lot of time together outside of school as well. James's mother would come over to the house often and spend time with Li Chen. And they would chat about stay-at-home mom things, whatever stay-at-home mom things talk about. Around this time, Elliot's parents also had hired a nanny, as his father's career was taking off, and Elliot kind of rarely saw his father around this time. Mm-hmm. So just to help out Li Chen, they hired a nanny.
Zanny the nanny.
Zanny the nanny. Gosh, that would be a good deep dive.
Yeah, it would.
Casey Anthony. I want to do Jodi Arias, too. Anyways. Even Elliot's grandmother had actually flown in on occasion from England to help out with Elliot and give his mother comfort. So this was his Amma, I think is what he called her. Amma, like
That's
grandma.
cute.
Yeah. Elliot would witness his mother and his father fighting quite often around this time whenever his father was home. And his father would actually provide him with a video game system for Christmas. This often distracted Elliot when he felt pushed out by his parents fighting. So he started playing video games at a young age. He got a Nintendo 64.
Oh, hell yeah.
Elliot felt like in retrospect his dad did this on purpose because they were fighting.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of like he just threw himself into video games.
Where did it happen that he takes everything so fucking personally? Like, I don't see anything specifically happening that, I mean, even as young as 3, he gets mad as fuck about this kid taking a piece of cake. Like, when was this sense of entitlement introduced to him? That he takes everything like he's the only person in the fucking world? I don't understand.
Okay, there is a Barbara Walters special with Peter Rogers after Elliot committed this crime. Mm-hmm. And he reads that way. The dad does. The dad reads very entitled, very like, I don't know what's going on with my son. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Except it's more like this. So he's, I don't know what happened to my son, mate. You know, well, that's kind of Australian.
Do better.
Do better.
That's still Australian, but do better.
Do better. That's, well, no, better. You can say better.
If you're from England, well, sorry.
Yeah. Are you from Manchester?
Well, I heard that people in England do American accents all the time, too.
It's true.
And Australian.
Yeah.
So, it's fine.
If we do Igloo Koelle, then we can do Manchester.
Tuna looks peculiar.
Tuna?
We love you guys.
Oh, no.
I want to go visit so fucking bad.
Me too. I would love to go to Australia.
I want to go to New Zealand.
I knew somebody online. If Noodles is listening to this, hi Noodles. Noodles lived in Australia, and she sent me photos once of kangaroos hanging out in her front yard. She's like, I need to go to work, but there's fucking kangaroos in my front yard,
It's
and
like
I can't
deer for
go.
us.
Yeah. It's like a moose.
That's funny.
It's just dangerous.
I want to go to New Zealand specifically to try the wine that I like to drink, like, from the source, like, locally. Because I only drink New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs.
Really?
Or, like, Australian or South African, but mostly New Zealand.
I would want to go to New Zealand to see where they filmed Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I would like to go to Marlborough.
Marlborough?
However you say it in the New Zealand accent.
I don't know.
Someone from New Zealand, send me a voice memo of you saying Marlborough.
Yeah. And if that someone is Jermaine Clement, give me a call.
Hit me up.
Hit me up.
God, we're going on tangents on this one.
Sorry, y'all. Okay.
The person that wrote that review was like, fucking A, dude. Like, as soon as I give them a compliment, they fuck
Shit.
up.
So again, it wasn't really totally clear if Peter bought the console because he was trying to distract Elliot or just to give him something to do. Who knows?
But of course, Elliot's never going to think, like, oh, he bought that for me out of the kindness of his heart because he wanted me to have something fun. No, he needed some reason to distract me, so he bought that for me.
He wrote this when he was 22, and he already knew what he was going to do.
Yeah.
So, he's already just scorned. He hates everything. So, Elliot, however he learned the word at 5 or 6, once asked Li Chen if she and his father would ever get a divorce, to which she replied, never.
Because I guarantee you his dad was like, you want to get a fucking divorce? You want to get a fucking
that what
divorce?
you want?
We can get a divorce.
You want a divorce?
Get a divorce real well. We can get a divorce. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know if he said that.
No.
That's
wouldn't.
probably where he heard it from. Or he maybe told a kid at school.
Or,
my parents are fighting. Oh, are they going to get divorced? You know, kids ask stupid questions like that.
So true. Kids ask stupid.
Kids
ask the dumbest questions. They're so dumb.
I work with kiddos, and they all ask great questions.
That's awesome. Elliot would attend summer camp that year, and after his return, so again, just a reminder, because we did go off on a little bit of a tangent, that Lee-chan said they would never get divorced.
Yeah.
So Elliot went to summer camp, and shortly after he returned, they were celebrating Elliot's 7th birthday. It's always a birthday, right?
Fucking way.
It would be a few days later that the family would have the conversation of them getting a divorce, essentially.
And what did he say? Oh, my 7th birthday, my parents got divorced.
My 7th birthday.
I guarantee you he equated it with his 7th birthday.
Of course he did.
Equated it, it's not even the right word.
Equated
it with his 7th birthday, and he made that a big fucking deal in his manifesto.
Yeah,
well, then they got divorced on my 7th birthday. They broke the news to me.
They broke the news
even
to
though
me.
It was 3 days later. Even if it was 2 weeks later, he probably still would have said, on my birthday.
He did say that the reason that he remembered it so well was it was the last birthday meal that he remembers experiencing with both of his parents, essentially.
Fuck ever, dude. No, I'm sorry. That's kind of fucked up. Sorry.
Jesus.
That's kind of fucked up, though. Like, I don't want that for anybody.
It was probably at Ruth's Chris.
Oh my god, I love Ruth's Chris.
Me too. I love their mushrooms. Ew. I don't like that at all.
I can honestly say, I worked at Ruth's Chris. I don't know if anybody else knows that, but I did. And it's still my favorite steak place to go to.
I want to go
Usually when
again.
you work somewhere, like, you don't want to eat there anymore after you quit.
Yeah.
The lobster mac and cheese, fucking mint.
Fucking mint.
Fucking amazing.
I want to go to Bliss.
Oh my god, Bliss was so good. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep talking.
Those tostadas are so good. Okay.
Bro, everything.
So, of course, Elliot felt completely betrayed and lied to, specifically by his mother, about this. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Elliot and Georgia would move in with Lee Chin and would begin to see even less of their father because he was traveling a lot for work. Elliot would say that he would often cry when no one was around. And
Same.
he started feeling just depressed. He would like to keep to himself in his room, play video games, or sleep. And then this is at 7. That's major depression for a 7-year-old.
That's really sad.
It is.
I'm not trying to laugh. I'm laughing at the fact that your 7-year-old a second ago was doing that and you were like, don't stay in the room.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying. I was like, it's a little dark in here. Can I turn on the light, please? Oh, gosh.
But no, that is, like, really hard emotions for someone that young to be experiencing. And it's really sad, too, because, like, he already didn't see his dad a lot, and now he's, like, really not seeing his dad. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, from what you're saying with the interview, it kind of sounds like his dad is, like, his biggest role model if he's mimicking the way that his dad acts as far as the ego goes.
For sure. Both houses were run differently, with Lee Chen's being very fun and warm and nurturing, just having a lot of fun with the kiddos. Peter's household was somewhat distant and cold, and when the children would stay with him, although he did hire a nanny that Elliot seemed to have bonded with, her name was Christine, but when they would stay with him, it just was very non-nurturing, the opposite of that.
He's probably busy as fuck.
Yeah.
Not that it's an excuse, but seems busy as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, not just given the nature of what his job is, but he's also providing for individuals. He's probably paying out alimony, too.
True.
Elliot's friend James would also move away by the 2nd grade, so his best friend James. And although James and Elliot would remain friends, it's yet another example about how nothing is permanent in Elliot's life at all. Eventually, Elliot's father would downgrade to a smaller place after some financial issues, which was probably also paying for the divorce, also with the alimony. He probably just chose to downsize. And he would actually rent out a room to a friend who was also struggling financially. The dad did. So just a few short months after the announcement of his parents' divorce, Elliot was introduced to a woman who would soon become his stepmother. Mother.
That's weird.
Stepfather, mother.
So this tenant is going to be his new stepmother?
No, it's a different...
I said it too.
No, mother. No, the first tenant was a man. It was one of his friends.
Okay.
But when Samaya is her name. Mm-hmm. So when Samaya would hang around, Elliot was like, oh, it's just another roommate. Well, then he began to witness them kissing and all the things that boyfriends, girlfriends do, right? Okay. So Samaya was a Moroccan actress And Samaya was also from a very successful family and never wanted for nothing. Elliot watched very closely at Peter and Samaya's relationship, and it was the first exposure to a relationship between two people that weren't married that he followed very closely.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, I don't want to say inappropriate for his dad to have done that, but that's really soon to just, like, bring someone around the house.
And especially because Elliot thought she was just another renter.
Yeah.
So Elliot began to soon realize that his father was a bit of a ladies' man, and that being with women came easily for his father. Probably because of, well, he's rich, so.
I can't even date a girl.
I'm only 4. While knowing it or not at the time, Elliot resented his father for being such a ladies' man, of course, right? Mm-hmm. Elliot would come to resent Samaya as she was never really nurturing towards Elliot, and she would often take time to reprimand and discipline Elliot unnecessarily, at least in Elliot's mind, for simple things. Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of this is, like, mumbo-jumbo. It's like, fuck you, dude. Like, she probably got mad at you because you made a giant mess in the kitchen and didn't clean it up. Yeah. It's probably not unwarranted.
And you were probably pretty defiant, too, because I'm the new woman in your dad's life. Yeah. And that's a very natural reaction to have.
And yet another thing to take attention away from you.
Yes.
Ugh. I mean, he's a child. Like, he doesn't know how to process these emotions. But the fact that he's relaying this information as an adult is very fucking irking.
He could just say, I fucking hated her, and I hated her because she wasn't my mom.
And everything I'm hearing is him continuously trying to make an excuse for his current behavior or his future behavior at this point.
Also, none of this is verbatim. If it is verbatim, I will say quote, but this is also my interpretation of reading essentially, like, 2 to 3 paragraphs and trying to sum it up in, like, a sentence or 2.
Yeah.
Because he goes on and on.
Yeah.
He just
rambles,
exactly.
It's like the Toy Box Killer. You can't read the whole audio tape or else you'd be here for like 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Up until this point, Elliot was a pretty disciplined child, but not without the occasional outburst or tantrum when not getting what he wanted, which we've seen already. Elliot was still in between 2 worlds, a normal child activity, like going on with like school and stuff or friends, but then also jet setting to like red carpet events.
Okay.
So he had been to several red carpets, and those were all, you know, destinations, either in LA or other places. So it was kind of weird. It was almost like he never had any real normalcy at all.
Yeah, he's like Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
2.0.
The best of both worlds. So while still in elementary school, and as kiddos do, the boys and the girls began to separate at recess and playtimes because the kids are getting older, right? So boys play with boys, girls play with girls. Although this is a normal part of child development, of course, Elliot would eventually begin to feel left out specifically, right? Because again, he already said that he didn't know where he was gonna, where he belonged.
Yeah.
Elliot said, quote, "I was happy living in innocent, ignorant bliss, and I was happy with it," end quote, is what he said. I was a child, and he was a child.
And I loved, that was love and love. Side note, did you know that Hannah Montana was almost named Alexis Texas?
No.
And then they found out that someone had already had that name as a character, so they changed it to Hannah Montana.
Wow.
The more you know.
Could you imagine? That show would have been canceled if it was called Alexis Texas.
Nah, it would have been hype as fuck.
Well, for here, yeah. Probably not there. So he did hang on to one friend, Elliot, which was Maddie, of course. And he always seemed to have a special reserved spot for her in his heart.
Of course. He's seen her naked. That was really gross.
Gross! Gross. Maddie's parents would also divorce, and her father would actually move back to England. So, again, another similar kind of boat that he was in. After some vacation time in Morocco to visit Samaya's family, and then to England to visit more of Peter's family, the family would come home to Christine announcing that she would be resigning and moving back to Germany, where she was originally from. This was the nanny. The only one that he kind of connected with.
Dang.
Yeah.
Everyone leaves me.
Especially nurturing figures is what he's getting.
Yeah.
Once again, another woman in Elliot's life was removed, and once again, his father would move homes, now finding, like, the height of his career. So this is around, I wouldn't say necessarily Hunger Games, but this is pretty up there. Mm-hmm. So it wasn't until Elliot's 9th birthday.
Oh my god, here we go.
That he would have an actual regular birthday fit for a child his age. So this was the first birthday where children were allowed to come to his birthday and run around and play games. I think it was like Disney themed or something.
Okay.
Real cute. So, again, they had always traveled or had adult dinners for his birthday, but this was the first birthday. But Elliot would be bothered by the fact that his younger sister's friends were also allowed to attend, therefore taking the attention away from him.
I mean, that's kind of annoying.
Yeah.
If they're not friends with him, why are they at his birthday party? I would be a little annoyed by that.
5 years younger. I definitely remember that, having birthday parties for me and, like, you girls having, like, 1 or 2 kids your own age here. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I guess. But maybe, like, one friend, but, like, multiple
So like,
friends?
oh, it's Elliot's birthday, but also Georgia.
Yeah,
Like, you know?
I feel like I would be... I'm sorry about that I did that. I feel like I would be annoyed.
You were a baby. He's jealous of a baby. That's weird, you know?
But that's also the parents doing. Like, they're
Yeah.
inviting the kids. She's not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like... I don't know. I feel like I would be... Here's the thing. I would be a little annoyed, but I probably wouldn't, like, make it a big deal like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean? I'd be like, okay, that's, like, annoying as fuck, but
I
whatever.
also don't know the full ins and outs. It's like, if a child is in his grade and a child, like, they have a younger brother or sister that's also George's age, then why not bring the kid,
That's
you know?
true.
So, there's varying
Maybe.
circumstances. He's just a brat.
Yeah. For sure.
Elliot around this time also began to have very big issues with his height. Slowly, he was realizing that everyone around him seemed to be getting taller and stronger, but he just stayed the same.
Okay.
He had read some, like, article or a magazine about basketball players, and he realized the basketball players were very tall. So he took up playing basketball. Like, he would go down to the little courts and play basketball by himself.
He's like, I'm gonna grow.
I'm gonna grow. He would be, like, exercising on the playgrounds because he wanted to get bigger. He said he would lay on the ground and stretch himself out as much as he could in an effort to get taller.
God, that's, like, really sad,
That's
actually.
really sad. I did that when I was a kid.
Did you really?
Yeah. My goal was to be taller than mom and dad.
Are you taller than mom and dad
No,
now?
you are. I'm gonna
very
cry.
Don't cry. Oh, no. Is this your manifesto?
Did you write this, Koelle? Did you write this?
Oh my gosh, I didn't know. For those of y'all that don't know, and if you guys aren't going to see us at the podcast festival, Koelle, how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
I'm 5'9". I'm a giant.
I'm a giant.
I've always
Kenna
been
was laying in
so
her bed
big.
going, get shorter, get shorter.
I swear to God, I was. I was like, let me drink a
Don't
bunch
grow
of
anymore.
coffee. Stunt my growth. I swear to God, I started drinking coffee in middle school because I wanted to be shorter.
Are you serious?
I'm not even joking.
Okay, so
I didn't want to grow anymore.
that really struck a chord with me because I used to do that too. I used to lay in bed and go, I'm gonna get so tall.
Oh my gosh, that's so sad.
Stretch my body out as far as I could.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I can
we
wear
could
heels.
switch, I would.
I was gonna say I can wear heels.
I
And
can wear heels.
You still look great in heels. You should.
I do sometimes, and I love the fact that it doesn't bother Casey, because
Yeah.
him and I are like the exact same height.
Yeah.
When we're like, in shoes, with no shoes. Mm-hmm. And when I wear heels, like, we're still pretty much the same height because he wears boots usually.
Yeah.
But I might be like a hair taller than him, and he has never once said like, "Don't wear those; it makes me feel bad." Because
Or when we take a picture, crouch down, like
he has never once said that to me because he's a man and he is comfortable in his own skin, and I love it.
That's great.
But I also hate being a glamazon.
I think it's cool. I would like to be at least 2 inches taller.
I think 5'7" would be the perfect height.
Is there a perfect height?
Yes, 5'7".
I feel like all bodies are beautiful, Kenna.
Okay, well, disagree. Just kidding. That's not okay. That's not what I meant.
Awful.
I meant I don't like my height is what I meant.
Oh, I see. You mean the perfect height for you?
Yes.
And not the perfect height for people.
No, for me.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
That's what I was saying. I was
No,
like,
I'm not like
everybody's-
everyone needs to be the same. Jesus.
It's like, okay,
No.
Timothy McVeigh, calm down over there.
Uniqueness is what I. Just go.
Anyways.
I'm just gonna dig myself into a hole.
Yeah, but isn't that sad? So he used to lay on the ground and he used to imagine himself being taller.
That is really sad.
He also admitted that around this age, he does remember being a very jealous or envious person. He essentially always remembers being jealous or envious of something or someone for some reason,
Okay.
which is a pretty big admit, I think.
That is, and also a pretty big emotion for a 10-year-old to
Yeah.
have.
Well, I think he's like 6. Well, no, he's 9, right? He's 9?
Yeah.
I think
Remember?
so. Yeah.
On his 9th birthday.
His 9th birthday. So he did begin to hold resentments towards his fellow classmates. He would often smile to people's faces, but internally despising the boys around him. So he's like, I'm friends with these boys because I have to be, not because I want to be. So I'm going to try to just be as nice as possible. Like Duper's Delight.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of creepy.
It is.
He's like, I'm gonna kill you.
You just wait. Wait until I get taller.
Your mental health is super important to us, so we are thrilled to announce that we are sponsored by BetterHelp to support you. BetterHelp is the world's largest therapy service, and it's 100% online. With BetterHelp, you can access a network of over 30,000 licensed therapists with a wide range of specialties and be linked with the perfect match for you. Whether it's via text, chat, or video call, you can talk to your therapist when it's convenient for you. When it comes to your mental health, BetterHelp is a convenient and affordable option for therapy. Get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/DAKPOD. That's BetterHelp/DAKPOD for 10% off your first month.
It seems that the conversations with girls came naturally to the other boys, and he really hated that, of course. This is, again, this is the build-up, y'all. It's
just
a lot.
Sitting in a corner like,
Look at them. Look at them living in our lives.
Exactly.
Existing.
I can't stand that shit.
This even extended into his own friendships at the time. He remembers being very jealous or envious when James would come over with other kids. Like, he'd be like, oh, I want to bring my friend with me. And then he would watch James interacting with, like, another kid, and he would get jealous.
He'd be that one kid that's like, you can't have any other friends besides me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I knew an adult
I know multiple adults like that.
like that.
Ugh. I'm sorry, I know multiple people like that. I don't want to call them adults. Give them that credit.
That's too much cred. He would even get jealous when Maddie would come over and play with Georgia, his younger sister.
Okay.
It's like they're little girls. He would sometimes cry or throw tantrums about it, and oftentimes wouldn't, like, speak to James or Maddie after these interactions.
That's such a heavy emotion for such a young kid to be
For a kid-
experiencing.
well,
like,
he
how
was-
does he...
He was forced to be an adult at, like, 4.
Yeah, that's very true.
I mean, he already said that I don't know how true that is, but he already said essentially his parents didn't want him, so they're like, okay, well, we're adults, and we're constantly traveling, and you need to be adult enough to do this. Like,
That's actually very true. I didn't even think about that.
Elliot's parents would soon switch week to week, like week on, week off, which was kind of exciting for Elliot since he didn't get to spend a lot of time with his father.
Yeah.
Although his father would just end up hiring 2 nannies instead.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 nannies. Well, I guess there's 2 kids, because if they're passing Georgia, too. Then
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
he didn't have to deal with them.
Exactly.
Cool.
Samaya and Elliot's relationship would become more strained the more time that he spent over at Peter's house. Samaya would insist Elliot drink milk every morning, and he fucking hated that. He also complained about a soup that Samaya used to regularly make, often,
Okay.
saying that he hated it. Samaya would soon implement drinking the soup as a form of punishment.
What?
Yeah.
I think I did hear that.
So she forced him to drink it on several occasions as a punishment.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Isn't that fucked up?
That is fucked up. Especially, like, that. I cannot stand if people use food
Yeah.
to abuse their children.
Absolutely.
Whether it's withholding or forcing.
That's so fucking
It's disgusting.
That's so
And then you
fucking
wonder why they
sad.
grow up with eating disorders.
Right.
Like, honestly.
Exactly. Once Elliot and Samaya would have an argument in front of Philip, his childhood friend, and after this incident, apparently Philip wasn't allowed at the house anymore, which I suppose Elliot thought Samaya had told Philip's parents that Philip wasn't allowed to come over anymore.
Or Philip went home and told his parents that they got in a fight, and the parents were like, ooh, I don't want you over there if it's going to be like a toxic environment.
True, exactly. And the only reason I say that is because Philip was still allowed to go to Lichin's. So
Okay.
So it's not an Elliot thing, it was a Samaya thing. Either way.
Yeah.
Either Samaya said Philip can't come over, or Philip's parents were like, we don't want you around that woman.
Yeah. Well, shit. I mean, honestly, I don't blame them. I'd probably do the same thing
Yeah.
if that's what happened.
In an effort to fit in around this time, Elliot picked up skateboarding, and he actually wanted to dye his hair, specifically bleach it, because spiky bleach tips were like the coolest thing.
Hell yeah, I want to be JT all the way.
It's true. This was LA after all, and it was cool to bleach your hair and have spiked tips. His parents did allow this, and although it did gain him some type of attention at school for a few days, it didn't last very long, and he went back to kind of being the kid who felt ignored. It's like, man, cool haircut, bro. Anyways, have a good day.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye. Oh, you like to skateboard? Cool. Later. Yet again, Peter would move this following year as well. So he moved to another house. Cute. Elliot having to get used to another new environment, of course. Cute. Li Shin would also move to a bigger house. Cute. Cuter. Well, good for her. She deserves a bigger house, but yeah. So we know by now that Samaya has essentially scared all of Elliot's friends away, right?
Yeah.
So Samaya's like, you need to make more friends. So in an effort to force Elliot into making neighborhood friends, she actually locked him out of the house once. And she said, you need to go talk to those kids, go be friends with those kids. You're not allowed back in the house until you know all their names, essentially. Yeah.
What a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. She's a bitch. I mean, again, this is all according to Elliot, but still. So, he was locked out until he can meet all the new neighborhood kids, or the new kids in the neighborhood.
Okay. And now I'm like, yeah, now that you said that, I'm like, maybe she didn't do that.
Or maybe it wasn't extreme. Maybe it was like, no, you need to go meet friends. Like, this is your new neighborhood. Go out there and go play with the kids. Stop.
Like, she locked me out
She locked me out.
until dark.
I'm sure she was tired of him playing video games all day.
True.
So one time, the family got together and they flew to France, which Elliot was very excited about. This trip was a very expensive one, and Elliot had already known of his love for opulence and all things, super pricey. He hated that Samaya was there with them, though. And after an argument between him and Samaya made Elliot stay in the hotel room all night while her and Peter and Georgia went out, like, for a night out in the town. Like, you can't come with us because we had an argument.
But it wouldn't have been just her, though. Peter had to have, like, known, or at least, like, didn't say anything if she did that.
Yeah, exactly. Peter doesn't say shit.
Cute. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So he always hated trips with Samaya, of course, because they would argue often and they would take trips often, unfortunately. Elliot, in an effort to be cool, had tried several times to integrate himself with kind of the cool cliques, popular kids, or the skateboarders, or whatever. A lot of times, these conversations would turn to the topic of girls, which is the guys, talking with the guys, just one of the guys.
One of the guys.
And how soon enough that by middle school, everyone was going to start dating and kissing each other. Once we get to middle school, we can hold a girl hand,
Yeah.
Things like that.
Girls.
He didn't fully get that. He was like, I don't understand why that's, like, a thing. Like, why is that a goal? Like, This is school. Like, we're here to get an education kind of a thing, I guess. He was kind of disgusted by the fact that all of his male peers were like, can't wait to get into middle school. We're going to get it,
Well, I'm sure he was also disgusted by relationships in general, because he's had a hell of a time, like, with his experience of seeing them.
Exactly, especially with, like, a female.
Yeah.
So he didn't fully get that, and I don't think that he really understood that puberty was, like, going to be a thing.
Okay.
I don't know what kind of sex education they have in fucking LA or whatever, but essentially he didn't understand why girls and guys had been separated up until this point. But then, like, you get to, like, a milestone of sorts, and then all of a sudden they start commingling. It's just weird to him. Like, that whole concept was strange.
Okay.
So coming into middle school, Elliot was becoming more envious of boys around him. He would ask himself things like, oh, like, she is clearly, doe-eyed for this boy, but, like, what's so great about him? Like, what's so great about so-and-so? What's so great about him? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I don't get that.
I don't get it either.
Like, fix your fucking self then if you're worried about it. If you want to fucking have something worth being looked at like that. I don't fucking know.
He felt that boys were obnoxious jerks and that girls were dumb for liking them in the first place.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he hated
his thing.
Both sexes, yeah. He said about this time that he was realizing that the cool thing to be at this point was popular with girls. So skateboarding had kind of worked for a second, bleach tips were kind of working for a second, but now the cool thing was to be liked by girls. And that's just something that he, again, didn't understand.
Because why are you interested in girls? Like, you're weird because girls are annoying.
Yeah.
Or whatever he's thinking.
Eventually, as the years of middle school progressed, he was friendly with a group enough that some of the girls in the group would actually hug Elliot as, like, part of a greeting, because they would hug everybody and when greeting the group.
Yeah.
And that he felt elation with each hug, and this excited him. Like, he was like, ooh. He's like, girl hug. Ooh. Yeah.
Popped a fucking halfie.
Probably. Even at school dances, he would be asked to dance a few times and even slow dance. And this was like a really big deal for him, although he was really conflicted because, ew, girls, right? Yeah.
He's saying "ew, girls" because girls aren't paying attention to him.
Exactly.
Once they do, he's like, ooh, like jizzing his pants.
Yeah.
But like other than that, he's like, nope, fuck that. I don't even like girls.
I don't even like girls.
It's like Timothy McVeigh. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't like something. I'm gonna make the decision. It's not the decision
being made for me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's me. It's my decision. So now it's not embarrassing because I chose to do that.
Lee Chin would move again. Around this time, Elliot's best friend James's mother would actually pass away.
Oh man.
And this profoundly affected Elliot, who watched his friend mourning the loss of his mother. Again, just another nurturing figure or a warm mother, female figure just, not there anymore. And that it really profoundly affected a person that he cared about.
Yeah.
Another boy in Elliot's grade had been invited over once by Lee Chen when she saw the two hanging out after school one day, and this was to Elliot's dismay. He did not really care for this kid. He wasn't known for being the most popular kid, this boy, and was easily one of the meanest kids as well. After this time of coming over, this kid began to spread a rumor that Elliot's family was poor and lived in a poor person's house because this was Lee Chen's house.
So he's jealous.
Who?
The kid. So he made up like the opposite of what his...
No, these are all really affluent kids. It's just that Lee Chen, since the divorce, she didn't have as nice or big of a house, even though it was a 3-bedroom house.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. I thought he was like jealous that he had all this stuff, so he made up like a rumor that was like the opposite.
No, these are like crazy affluent kids.
Oh, okay.
So they all live in really big homes. But again, Lee Chen's home was a modest 3-bedroom because she's a divorcee and she didn't require a lot. Yeah, again, it just wasn't as big as everyone else's. Elliot became obsessed at this point by proving that he was just as affluent as his peers. And he would constantly need to remind people, my dad's this famous filmmaker, blah, blah, blah. So it definitely put a stain, or it tarnished his reputation.
Yeah.
Elliot, like most kids of the early 2000s, would often be on the computer in chat rooms using things like AOL and AIM. AIM.
I love that.
He had tried to make some online friends to kind of supplement his need for attention from the real world.
As one does.
One of these online friends would actually begin to send Elliot photos of nude women. This was really strange to Elliot. Up until now, he hadn't seen a naked woman, a fully developed naked woman. And he felt an intense emotion of desire and also intimidation and fear.
Well, yeah, because he doesn't like women. He's always, like, mad at himself for even thinking, like, in any way good, you know?
Absolutely. He actually immediately stopped talking to this person after they sent the photos. He was, like, traumatized by this.
What the fuck ever.
Summer...
Sorry, that was a stupid thing to say.
Fuck.
He's, like, in middle school. I'm like, you're a pussy.
How dare you not like naked women?
Fucking pussy.
Porn on the family computer. Summer camp came that year, and Elliot was playing around with some of his peers, like running around with either kids that he knew or didn't know, but just in his age range. He had accidentally bumped into a girl that was much bigger than he was, much older. She turned to Elliot, and she began screaming, cussing, and pointing at him, completely embarrassing him in front of everyone around. Elliot said that this girl was incredibly pretty, but how could she be so cruel to him? He said about this, quote, cruel treatment from a woman is 10 times worse than from a man. It made me feel like an insignificant, unworthy little mouse, end quote. Which he probably liked.
Mommy?
He's got a mommy complex.
But, like, be nice to people. Like, honestly, teach your kids to be nice to people.
Yeah.
We said it, like, a couple episodes ago. Like, if there's a kid in your school that a lot of people see as, like, maybe kind of weird or maybe kind of, like, you know, not normative or whatever, be nice to them.
Girls
Everyone
can bully
just wants
boys,
people
too.
to be nice to them. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't cost any fucking money to be nice to someone. And if someone bumps into you, it's probably a fucking accident. Like,
Yeah. Well, she probably felt, like,
powerful
or
Yeah.
cool because she was, like, older. Yeah, girls bully boys often.
Of course.
Often, yeah.
It's like Catherine Knight in the making.
Exactly. Wherever this poor little girl is. She's probably made up.
She's listening and she's like, fuck those bitches.
Fuck these bitches.
I was a child.
Even with this event, Elliot was jealous when he saw the girl with another boy before the end of camp.
Of course he was.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, she made me pee my pants. I love her."
I wish she would, like, touch me. I don't know. I was trying to say something funny and it came out gross.
Like, hold hands.
Yeah.
I wish she would hold my hand.
I wish she would yell at me more. She probably yells at that guy a lot.
He definitely despised this other kid because he was talking to this girl.
Of course, because it's his fault.
While playing video games at a local LAN center, I love that sentence.
Oh my god, I used to do that in high school too. I don't know if you know that.
What?
I used to go to the LAN center and play video games
really?
in high school, yeah.
Yeah, I just loved that sentence. Elliot came across a boy that was watching porn, either on his phone or on a PC or something. Either
It wasn't
way,
on his phone. It was like the 90s, wasn't it?
Well, it was 2000s, early 2000s. Elliot already had his first cell phone by this point, I think.
What
Oh,
year
no,
is
I think
it
was like
specifically? I don't even think smartphones
What
were
year
out.
is it? No, he wouldn't get his first cell phone until 14 or 15. Never mind. This is going to be like 2000. It was early 2000s. He
But
was
there's
born
no
in 91.
smartphones, though, so he wouldn't be
No,
able
it
to
wouldn't
watch
be-
porn on his phone. He would have to watch it on the internet.
When did the BlackBerry come out?
Like 2005
Two.
or something. Yeah, no, probably two.
Probably watch porn on that. I don't know.
It's all fucking pixelated.
If there's a will, there's a way. That's what I'm saying.
Remember when you used to accidentally hit the internet button on your phone and you had to hit end like
Shit,
1,000 times
Before it
charged your
connected.
parents to pay for that sort of luxury?
Before it connected, you had to cancel.
Yeah.
Cancel it connecting to the internet.
I
Oh,
remember
God.
one of the most old-fashioned things I've ever done is that me and my friends used to send pictures to each other through Bluetooth because you couldn't text message a picture.
What? Through Bluetooth?
Through Bluetooth. We figured out a way to send pictures via Bluetooth.
I didn't know how to work Bluetooth until like 6
Yeah,
years ago.
it was
I had
very
no idea
weird.
that your phone could connect. I didn't have my first smartphone until 2015.
I
or
didn't have my
16.
first smartphone until 2012, I think, because
Yeah.
I was a junior in high school.
Yeah, because Justin and I were definitely together, and I was working at Whole Foods, and
Yeah.
I was like, "How does this work? How does it know where your fingers are at?" I didn't understand it.
But yeah,
It's the
no,
worst.
me and Zach would send photos, just stupid pictures or
Yeah.
whatever, back and forth via Bluetooth because a text message
weird.
couldn't hold a photo. It was so weird. We were in like middle school.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember having to stand in the kitchen while talking on the phone with my friends because
Yeah.
it was a cord and,
you
we didn't
couldn't
have a
move.
cordless. Anyways,
Oh gosh, we're old.
well, you'll always be younger. Just remember that. So, again, Elliot came across this boy watching porn on a PC. We'll say that for shits and gigs.
On his watch, his Apple Watch.
His Apple Watch, yeah. With his hologram.
He's a vampire.
This was Elliot's first exposure to sex with penetration, so he had never seen that before.
Gross.
And it was weird to him. He said that he had always kind of felt these, this arousal, I guess. He didn't really know. He just said feelings. He just said, I always had these feelings towards women, but I never knew until now what you actually do with those feelings,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Well,
Like, you get aroused and you don't really know what that means, but then you see two people enacting,
Oh, okay, I see what you're
sex,
saying.
and you're like, oh, that's what my brain's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Is that this is a thing, this is an act that you do. This feeling
Okay.
that I have is an act. And so it really weirded him out, essentially.
yeah.
He said that this also traumatized him, of course, just like the naked pictures of the woman, and he felt disgusted with himself. It was grotesque. He cried on his walk home because he had no idea what to do with the feelings that he was having.
Makes sense.
Elliot began to throw himself into more video games at home because he eventually got his own gaming PC. In his words, he became addicted and he stopped caring about being shy, reserved, or a nerdy kid at school. He kind of just embraced it. He's like, yeah, I'm a computer nerd.
Fuck it.
I will tell you, a lot of his manifesto is all about WoW and like World of Warcraft and this PC place that he used to go to, this arcade. He would talk about that. He would talk about, he was essentially just obsessed with World of Warcraft.
That was Anders as well.
Yeah.
Anders Breivik, remember in his manifesto too? He's like, I got into World of Warcraft and now I'm currently playing whatever game he was playing.
A lot of Elliot's manifesto was what the new game was. He really kind of tried to like talk about that. I didn't put it all in here, but every single time he got a new console, he remembered when he got it.
Yeah.
So it was you know, Nintendo 64, then it was a PlayStation, then it was an Xbox, then it was a Game Boy, then he was into Pokemon, then he was into, I mean, it was a lot of nerd culture stuff.
He also associates his first gaming console with his father, maybe trying to distract him.
Comfort.
So that's probably something that really stuck with him throughout his life. Like, okay, when things go wrong, at least I get this.
Yeah.
Like, at least I get a video game or a whatever.
Absolutely. You know? I think that you and I both know people that play video games. I mean, I really know a lot of people that play video games, but some of the times it's people that have had turmoil in their home, and to just drown everything out, you just play video games.
Yeah.
And it's another world. Some people play video games, some people read books, some people are really big book readers, and a lot of the times we also see people, you know, that we do cases on that are big book readers.
Yeah. Or some people are like me, where they're just like crazy alcoholics and just drink at the sight of any kind of upsetness, which was me as fuck yesterday.
Give me the drink.
I felt really disappointed in myself yesterday because I've been doing really well, like, throughout the week, like, not drinking at all. And yesterday, like, I got, like, upset at you, actually. LOL.
I know.
And immediately ran to the bar. I was like, fuck this, I'm going to the bar. And then I literally sat there for, like, 2 hours by myself. It was more so just to get out of the house. It wasn't necessarily to drink, but you know I'll fucking drink.
I thought you were still at home because was this before you came home?
No, this was after I got home.
Oh, okay. Because I looked at your story and I was like, 7 hours ago. Wasn't she at home 7 hours ago? Nope. Had that truly in my face.
Totally over it now.
Totally over it. You're so funny.
Little child syndrome.
I'm not going to talk
Little
about the fridge,
syndrome.
but I cleaned out the fridge days ago. And so when I was already asked, I'm not even going to talk about it.
Just move on.
So, of course, he would get addicted as soon as he started owning his own PC. He also started going through puberty at this point, and he was noticing more and more that girls were, like, adverse to him. He's like, oh, they're disgusted by me. They won't even look at me.
Was he trying to go up and talk to girls, or was he just sitting there like this, people watching, and being like,
no one's coming up to me?
Exactly.
Like,
he wanted people to initiate it. He never wanted to initiate it.
Then you can't bitch and moan about it when you're not even trying.
What about the girls that were giving him hugs? You can't talk to those girls?
Seriously.
They clearly know you well enough.
I'm sorry, I can't stand that. It's like, and there's the sense of entitlement as well. Of course people would want to come up to me. Why wouldn't they? And then when they don't, it's like, well, they're bitches anyway. Like, I hate that.
Lesbian.
Oh my god. Yes.
I love that.
Fucking yes. Right. Well, that was
Hey,
me,
Yoga,
right?
can I get your number? No. Lesbian.
I swear to God someone said that to me. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm a lesbian.
Yeah,
It makes you walk away from me.
I'm a big old lesbian. Like, what is it? What is it?
Got a big lesbian
Crush on you. Yeah.
No, I remember one time, a side
Janice,
note, we were at the bar, and me and a girlfriend of mine were at the bar, and this guy comes up and he's like, hey, mama. I was like, oh, fuck no. This
Here
was like
we
only
go.
a couple years ago, so me
Here
and
we
Casey
go.
were dating, and
Yeah.
obviously, like, I'm not talking to random guys at the bar. And he comes up, and it's like two of us, and then, like, him and a buddy of his, and he's like, hey, can I buy you a drink? He's in, like, a fucking knee-long, like, Spurs jersey. I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
You grew up here,
You can
for
buy
sure.
me a drink.
And I was like, no, thanks. Like, I had actually just gotten one.
Mm-hmm.
And usually, like, if a guy's nice, I'll be like, sure. And then he's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, bye. You know what I mean? Free drink.
Thanks
Goodbye.
for the drink.
But no, he was like, can I buy you a drink? I was like, no, it's okay. He's like, no, come on. Like, let's go up to the bar. Like, I'll buy you and your girl, like, a round of shots. And I was like, no, honestly, like, I think we're good. But thank you, though. Like, I appreciate it. And he goes, ugh. And I was like, ugh. Like, right back to him. And he, like, gave me this look. I was like, what? Okay, so you can me, but I can't you? Like,
yeah.
fuck you.
Lesbian.
Oh, and then, of course, all night, you know, he's like, giving me the fucking bombastic side eye.
Bombastic.
It's awful.
So Elliot was kind of having this complicated feeling about desiring women, and also, in a weird way, finding it arousing that they took pleasure in picking on him and being mean to him, and he called them heartless creatures.
Mommy. That's him as fuck.
Discipline me, mommy.
Seriously.
That's seriously what he's going through.
I was talking to two girls at work today, and I was talking about Mom's potato salad recipe, but I accidentally said mommy, because I said mom, and then
Mommy?
I said my mom, and then I kept talking, and I was like, I'm sorry, it sounded like I said mommy just now. This girl was like, oh my god. I was like, don't look at her, don't look at her, don't look at her, don't make it a thing. I was like, I'm not weird. We were laughing about it. I was like, I promise I don't say mommy casually.
My mommy's potato salad. Oh, your mom made this? No, my mom doesn't make potato salad, but my mommy does. So
It's like,
okay.
I've already presented myself as a weird person at work. But you know what I'm going to do about it? I'm going to make friends and be nice and keep trying. I'm not going to get...
You're not going to be an Elliot.
Yeah, exactly.
Elliot couldn't stand the idea that high school was supposedly more trying than middle school when it came to connecting with girls. He actually begged his parents to enroll him in an all-boys Catholic school.
You would think that, like, one person would think maybe, like, it's a fresh start. Like, oh, there's going to be so many new opportunities for me to meet people. Not, it's just going to be the same shit over and over.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Cute.
At this point, he was terrified of girls, his words. Further complicating things at home, Samaya would actually birth a child with Peter.
Oh.
Having a boy. Essentially pushing Elliot farther away from getting the attention from his dad that he craved. Because now there's a new baby.
Yeah.
When Elliot started high school, instead of feeling the comfort of not having any girls around, because he did get enrolled in that all-boys school, he was like, oh, okay, gosh, there's not going to be any girls. This is going to be a smooth year. He actually became intimidated by all the good-looking tall men at the school.
If
young
it's not
men.
one thing, it's another.
Yeah, then he's like, oh, shit, now I'm the small fry. Like, yeah. What?
Small fry.
He is a little small fry.
Just a funny
He
term.
was a little twig.
Okay, but yeah, again, it's not, if it's the entitlement thing, if it's not one thing, it's another. I have to have something to bitch about,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I have to have an excuse for my behavior. So anything I can pull and pick at when I'm younger, that's what I'm going to put in my manifesto to make it okay for me to do what I'm about to do.
Exactly.
And that has nothing to do with anything. It's just an excuse.
Elliot would soon experience bullying, as he was still much smaller and much weaker looking than the rest of the boys. One boy who had gone to elementary school with Elliot was also attending this all-boys school as well. He told everyone that Elliot was a weirdo. Elliot had confided in another schoolmate that he was fearful of girls. So everyone quickly started calling him the F slur. They thought he was gay.
Oh, that's sad. See, that's understandable. That one instance.
He's
not
like,
just the fact that there was taller guys there. Like, that's
No,
a
yeah,
thing.
that he was like, well, I don't really know, like, oh, so like you've done it before because they're in high school, and he's like, actually, no, I haven't, and girls are disgusting. So, so you must be gay. Yeah,
Exactly. God, that's awful.
boys would often take things from Elliot and run away in an effort to get like Elliot to chase them, and in order for him to regain his things, he always felt defeated because he could never catch up because he was just little.
Aww.
It was like monkey in the middle.
That's really sad. I don't like that.
It is. It's just bullying, straight up bullying.
Yeah.
And he went here to escape mental bullying, I guess, you know, because of girls.
Do better, people.
Sometimes Elliot would wait for hallways to clear just so that other kids wouldn't be in the hallways, so he could just book it to class, like, for in the last minute.
And teachers, like, didn't notice these things? Like,
No, probably not. Just boys being boys.
Boys will be boys.
Locker room talk. Elliot would begin to masturbate in high school. He considered himself to be a person with a very high sex drive as well. Although porn and girls did scare him still, he would avoid looking at porn on his computer, but he would scroll around the internet looking for ads just to find a pretty girl to masturbate to.
okay.
Like, essentially what you would do with, like, a Victoria's Secret catalog.
Okay.
Instead of looking at porn, because porn grossed him out. Sex in general grossed him out. He did do this regularly. Like, he said it was pretty much a habitual problem. He would overhear conversations between boys at school about their sexual experiences, and Elliot was grossed out and disturbed by this, of course. He couldn't understand that he was already at the age where his peers were doing all of the things that he was witnessing on porn sites or whatever memories he had of that.
Yeah.
Elliot distinctly remembers one boy who had actually audio recorded him and his girlfriend engaged in sexual activity.
Oh, that's fucking gross.
Yeah.
I'd be like, get that
It's
the fuck
already
away from
gross.
me.
I don't need to be Elliot Rodger to know that's fucking gross.
I agree with him on that one. Ew. I don't need to hear that thank you getting
To be playing that to, like, people at school, that's so gross.
Oh my god. Lord help me if I ever have boys. That's fucking gross.
Jesus. High schoolers are fucking mean. That boy's got feminine hits. What is it?
Oh, that's the thing I'm sensitive about.
Elliot would be even more disturbed when he was told that he would not be returning to the all-boys school the following year. So he only went for 1 year. And his parents were like, you're going to public school.
Wouldn't he be like, woohoo, I'm gonna get away from these guys?
But he doesn't want to be around girls, though. Not only that, but he's going to go to public school.
Oh,
so up until this point, he had essentially gone to private schools.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if anyone
they were
can't
unisex.
tell by now, I'm definitely a silver lining kind of gal. Because he's over here, like, in the fucking rain clouds. And I'm like,
No,
what about this?
He's a Debbie Downer for sure. Nobody want to hang out with him. Ugh. So yes, he was to attend public school. And he was also attending public school in maybe, like, to him, not the most affluent area.
Okay.
So this just upset him.
And he deserves the world, because he has a pool in his backyard.
This was almost a punishment, though, because in the private school, his grades weren't all that great. So they were like, you're going to go to public school. Like, if you can't keep up your grades, we're paying all this tuition for you to just
I
to
was
fail.
gonna say, it's expensive.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, because he wasn't doing so well in his courses, he actually had to attend summer school. So it was like immediately, like, you aren't going to this private school anymore. You're immediately going to be thrusted into public school. No summer vacation.
Damn.
Yeah. Ugh.
That's gotta be rough. I don't like that.
Of course, Elliot was bullied right away as soon as the regular semester were to start. He still dressed preppy from private school, and he was immediately shoved into lockers, called a loser.
God.
This was just the first week of the fall semester, by the way.
I feel like this is a little exaggeratory on his part.
Again, yeah. All of the hot girls were dating jock assholes, and the attention Elliot was getting wasn't from them, but from their boyfriends, because he just had a target on his back.
Yeah, of course not.
Quote, it's like their evil acts are rewarded by women, while the good, decent men are laughed at, end quote.
I can't fucking...
Why do girls always pick mean guys?
Nice guys finish last.
I hate that. I hate that. My boyfriend's very fucking nice, okay? He's kind of a jock, but he's very fucking nice.
He's kind of a jock. He doesn't play baseball.
I love him. Okay, he's a nice guy. He treats me well. He doesn't pout when things don't go his way.
Yes.
And
So-
I mean, no one should. I feel like no adult should pout when things don't go their way, but he's also a child.
He is a child, technically. He's 15, 16 at this point, I think.
But he's an adult writing about this.
Yeah. When it was Elliot's turn to stay with Li Chen the following week, he cried to his mother and begged her not to take him back to public school. And instead of dropping him off that day, she decided to take him to a cafe instead so they could talk.
Oh, that's nice of her.
I know, Li Chen's so sweet. She listened to Elliot about all of his concerns that he was experiencing at this school. And when Li Chen brought this up to Peter, they both agreed to switch schools. But again, he's switching schools again.
Okay, yeah, still there's no consistency.
Yeah, there's
in
no
his
permanency.
life.
Yeah.
No permanency, no routine. New school, new house, new family, new stepmom, new baby, new city, new state, whatever.
Yeah, but
His whole life.
Also, since the last time I mentioned that the parents have moved, I didn't put every single fucking time that they moved in here, but they've already at this point probably moved 3 or 4 more times and I didn't even say it. It's just constant.
I couldn't even do that as an adult. Like, how are the adults doing this willingly?
It definitely seemed like every year each of them were moving.
God,
Yeah,
that's
I don't know
gotta be
why.
hard.
I don't know how they could afford that. So Elliot would enroll in continuation school, which is almost like homeschooling, but it's called Ace Academy.
Yeah.
But in other places, essentially semi-homeschooling because you're only on campus for like 3 hours. But it's in lieu of getting a GED, you can still get a high school equivalent or a diploma.
Yes. What is it called? The alternative continuing education or something like that?
I think you're right. I think it's alternative continuation
Yeah.
Continuation education. I don't know. But yeah, here we call it ACE. So this gave Elliot plenty of time to play more video games at home. Sometimes up to 14 hours a day. Ew.
I was doing the wow.
Yeah. Oh, the wow.
The W.
I thought you were doing ooh. I just ooh with the fingers.
God, I can't.
I love you all. I will always ooh for you.
I one time sent that to Dana. I said, like, can we go get White Claws or something like that? And I did that, like, emoji, and then I immediately responded. I was like, ew, please ignore that. Please disregard that text message. I just cringed myself out so hard. And I did it with, like, the happy tear face.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, oh my God, I can't do it.
Ew.
Oh my God, so gross. So gross.
So when Elliot was 15 or 16 years old, he actually saved his little brother Jazz from drowning in a pool party.
What?
He and one other child were the only eyewitnesses to this. he said that the adults essentially had turned their backs, and Jazz was only, that's his brother, was like 3 or 4 maybe, I guess, at this point, right? Because I think Jazz was born, well, maybe 4 or 5. He was little, but he did not know how to swim, and he fell into the pool. Elliot says about this incident, quote, "Every single second of my brother's life, everything that happens to him in the future will exist because I pulled him out of that water that day," end quote.
I fucking hate this guy.
So fucking narcissistic.
So narcissistic. It's my doing that you're even here on this earth. Imagine how many times he's used that in an argument with his brother. Well, you wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for me.
Well, his brother wouldn't be old enough to argue with him by the time Elliot does what he does.
Okay, well, imagine how many times he used that in general. Or,
it's
like,
true.
with his parents.
With his parents.
You wouldn't even have another son if it wasn't for me.
Son. Ew.
Ew.
Ew. It's like Scar. I don't know why that reminded me of Scar. Scar and Mufasa.
A monkey's uncle.
Elliot was becoming increasingly discouraged about finding a partner the older he got. He would witness people younger than him, freshmen and sophomores, in relationships, but yet he didn't have one.
Bro, there's like 45-year-old people that are still single and waiting for their soulmate. Calm down. You're like 17. Like,
why you gotta call me out like that?
You're not 45.
I will be.
I will be.
I will be one day, and I will be single, damn it.
Have you seen that really quick? Sean Patton is a comedian. Have you heard of his name? Mm-mm. He does like this whole bit. It's really fucking funny. It's on Cumin, and he calls it Cumin, and it's fucking funny. But anyway, he like lived with this roommate, and like him and his buddies came over. He was living with a roommate. It was like an acquaintance of his that they like grew up together, but they weren't friends. Mm-hmm. And he had invited some people over, and the roommate would get so mad when he would say Cumin instead of Cumin, but he didn't know why, so he kept fucking with him. And he's like, "Hey boys," like his friends would come over to see the new place. He's like, "Welcome to the new digs. Can I offer you some Ritz crackers and Cumin?" He like says it really loud, and his friend, like his roommate, comes out, is like really upset, and he's crying. And the roommate's like, "Oh my god, fuck you, shut the fuck up." He's like, "I fucking hope you all die someday." And Sean Patton's like, "Well, we will." He's like, "Nice one."
Yeah.
Nice one,
gosh,
man.
Yeah.
So good. Watch that stand-up if you haven't seen it. It's fucking funny.
Reminded me of, I know we talked about Vanderpump Rules recently and how I've been obsessed with that, but that line that will forever be synonymous with Scandival. Ariana, Tom's walking into the kitchen. He goes, what does he say? "Do you want anything?" And she goes, "For you to die." And he goes, "Well, it's inevitable." Like,
oh my god, that's
like,
hilarious.
oh my god, like she's so pissed. For you to die.
For you to die. I also just remembered, or I realized just now that was me, like, talking way too fucking fast for anyone else to understand.
It's fine.
So.
I told you about Kimmy and Frankie having that conversation. I was like, it's just sister speed.
Yeah.
Just so used to your sister, you just talk like super duper fast.
When you sit here for long enough, you forget that you can hear your own voice in your like headphones. So you just think you're having a normal conversation. You forget that you're actually on the podcast. So just talk normally instead of enunciating.
At one family friend's event, Elliot watched as a 12-year-old boy made out with a girl Elliot's age.
Okay.
So, again, this is another reason why he was livid.
What does he have that I don't?
Exactly. He's 12 and he's making out with a girl. He hasn't even had his first kiss. Yeah.
I wonder why, because you're fucking Pouty McPowderson over there.
Elliot began to fantasize about having a girlfriend. She was tall, blonde, with a rockin' bod.
Oh my god.
I said that. He didn't say that. I said that. This was with a rockin' bod. Well, because he goes into more detail, but I'm not going to talk about essentially somebody who would be 16 years old like that.
Oh, well.
So just a rockin' bod. I don't know. She might be like Pamela Anderson, though. She could be like in her 30s or 40s. He does have a mommy complex after all, apparently.
True.
He held on to this thought in case it ever came up in conversations with others. Like, yeah, I totally have a girlfriend. She doesn't go to this school, though. She goes to another school.
You wouldn't know her. She's from Canada.
She's from Canada.
You don't know
exactly.
her. What's her name? Microphone stand.
You wouldn't know her. His parents would often ask if there was a love interest in Elliot's life, and Elliot tried to convince his parents that he was just too busy with school or video games to even care about girls.
Again, making it his idea.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm just too busy.
Oh, I'm far too busy for that, Mother. I just cannot even fathom the thought.
It is like a different life, though, because here he's telling his parents, I don't even care about girls, but he's fantasizing about... He essentially made up a girlfriend in his head in case anybody were to ask him if he had a girlfriend. Like, anybody who was trying to impress, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my gosh, that's so weird. No, I'm sorry, I don't want to say weird, because...
It's weird.
It's weird. It's not funny, it's not funny, it's funny.
It's not funny, it's not funny.
It's kind of funny.
It's kind of funny. Elliot says, quote, "One day I found some posts on the internet about teenagers having sex, and I was once again reminded of the life that I had been denied. I felt that no girl would ever want to have sex with me, and I developed extreme feelings of envy, hatred, and anger towards anyone who had a sex life. I saw them as the enemy. I felt condemned to live a life of lone celibacy while other boys were allowed to experience the pleasures of sex. All because girls didn't want me. I felt inferior and undesirable. This time, however, I couldn't just stand by and accept such an injustice anymore. I refused to continue hiding away from the world and forgetting about all the insults it dealt to me. I began to have fantasies of becoming very powerful and stopping everyone from having sex. I wanted to take their sex away from them, just like they took it away from me. I saw sex as an evil and barbaric act, all because I was unable to have it. This was a major turning point. My anger made me stronger inside. This is when I formed my ideas that sex should be outlawed. It is the only way to make the world a fair and just place. If I can't have it, I will destroy it. That's the conclusion that I came to, right then and there. I spent more time studying the world, seeing the world for the horrible, unfair place it is. I then had the revelation that just because I was condemned to suffer a life of loneliness and rejection doesn't mean that I am insignificant. I have an exceptionally high level of intelligence. I see the world differently than anyone else. Because of all the injustices I went through and the worldview I developed because of them, I must be destined for greatness. I must be destined to change the world, to shape it into an image that suits me." End quote. How you feeling over there?
There's about 8,751 things wrong with what he just said.
Isn't that a Rent song?
What?
700 minutes.
I just made up a very random number. I have no idea.
I would be very surprised.
That's
Not
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first of all, he's acting like he's in prison and he doesn't have any free will or any say in anything that he does. Who the fuck is this we shit that you keep talking about, or these people that made you this life? No one fucking did anything to you.
They made me this way.
And also, fuck you, I'm better than everyone. Like, literally, he's saying I'm better than everyone, and if I can't have it, nobody can.
Exactly.
What a pussy motherfucker. Oh my god, I hate
outlaw
this guy.
sex. Just outlaw it.
Because I can't have it, so that means no one's allowed to have it. Just because I couldn't have any cake at my birthday, no one else is allowed to have it. Like, literally, it's his 4-year-old fucking mindset.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What?
Did you just, like, laugh through your teeth? Because it sounded like someone was behind me going, shh. It scared the fucking shit
I did.
out of
I just
me.
laughed.
I have to look back and listen to that. Okay, it's been, like, maybe a minute or two of us trying to figure this out.
I'm already saying yeah before that even finishes, before that noise finishes.
I really hope that comes through on the actual podcast, because sometimes we hear things on the mic that you can't hear. If you need to go back, rewind it and turn it up, because right when I'm saying...
It sounds like shh.
It sounds like... And then I got a cold chill. I'm not even fucking joking. When we turned off the recording, I got, like, a weird fucking cold chill.
I was like, I remember laughing, but I laughed right before that, and so that's what I thought you were thinking about. I don't know.
I didn't fucking care for that shit at all.
Weird is that I didn't hear it when that happened. Like, when it first happened, but then listening back, I was like, that's exactly the way you described it, but I didn't hear it the first time.
That's so weird. I was thinking, because our niece is over here too right now, I was thinking she, like, snuck into the room.
Yeah.
Because when I leaned out of the closet to look, I didn't see anybody, but there's also a wall, like, next to the bed, and so I got out of the closet to, like...
Look around the wall.
And no one's in the room. Dude, that's fucking freaky.
That was weird.
I guess I'll just shut the fuck up, because it kind of sounds like someone wants me to be quiet.
It's like, shh.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny that you say that, and that's also a little freaky as well, because that's where we're going to end today. So,
oh, man!
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was just going to be the quote. This is going to be like, you know, Elliot Rodger just saying, like, I've had enough of this bullshit kind of stuff, and we will re-adjourn next Thursday, one whole week.
Damn, that's wild. So I think maybe we should just wait, perhaps, till the end of episode 2 to kind of discuss maybe some sort of mental disorder or any kind of childhood. I mean, we've already heard a lot of neglect, a lot of, you know, almost nature, like immediate narcissism at birth, like, you know, kind of mimicking his father.
And of course, this is all through Elliot's perspective at this point. But there will be, in chapter 2, there will be more in-depth look as to, again, like you said, what he might have been experiencing from other people looking in, because again, this is all his perspective, his words so far. So,
damn. Okay, well, I guess for now we're just gonna shh, and we will see you guys next week.
All right,
Love you. Bye.
Featured in Vogue, Forbes, and more, Alurez has the most beautiful and expertly crafted diamond jewelry for that special someone in your life. From engagement rings, pendants, and earrings, you're sure to find the perfect gift that expresses exactly how you feel. Click the link in the show notes to receive $10 off your first order plus free shipping. Alurez, fitting all of your jewelry needs from A to Z.